Geno Auriemma got criticized for benching KK Arnold, but what if it was the smartest move he ever made?
Prime Field!
Welcome to the Huskies Show from Prime Field. The footage from the 2024-25 season tells a clear story. KK Arnold, a foundational starter for UConn just a year prior, walks not to the center circle for the opening tip, but to the scorer's table, waiting to check in as the sixth woman. To some observers, it looked like a demotion. For a portion of the fan base, it sparked questions about Geno Auriemma's judgment. The move even stirred frustration beyond the court, as Arnold's mother amplified cryptic fan posts on social media. But a different narrative began to take shape, one that ran counter to the initial reaction. What if the controversial benching of the dynamic sophomore guard wasn't a punishment? What if it was, instead, one of the most calculated player development decisions in a legendary 40-year coaching career? The move was public. The reasoning was not. And in that space between action and explanation, a strategy was unfolding, one designed not for a single game, but for a championship future that became real when the Huskies claimed their 12th national title in April 2025. The story of KK Arnold's sophomore season is not one of a player losing her spot, but of a coach looking several moves ahead on the chessboard of college basketball. To understand the weight of the decision, one must first understand the expectations surrounding KK Arnold heading into the 2024-25 season. This was not a player on the fringes of the rotation. As a freshman, she had been thrust into a significant starting role and had proven she belonged. Her performance earned her a selection to the Big East All-Freshman team, a notable honor in one of college basketball's most competitive conferences. Her pedigree was established long before she arrived in stores. As a highly touted recruit and Wisconsin's Miss Basketball, Arnold was viewed as a key piece of UConn's future. She entered her sophomore year with established leadership expectations, seemingly destined for an expanded role and increased minutes. Conventional wisdom in sports dictates that you don't reduce the role of emerging talent, especially one who has already succeeded on a national stage. Arnold was, by all accounts, a cornerstone of the program's plans. She represented the next wave of UConn talent, a guard with the skill and on-court presence to lead the team. The foundation was set for a breakout sophomore campaign in the starting lineup. This established trajectory is what made the subsequent decision by the coaching staff so jarring and to the public so inexplicable. The move, when it came, was unequivocal. For the 2024-25 season, KK Arnold would come off the bench. It wasn't a temporary adjustment or a matchup-specific tactic. It became her role for all 40 games of the campaign. The immediate reaction was sharp. Critics framed the move as a clear demotion, a step backward for a player of her caliber. The decision sparked debate among fans and analysts, many of whom questioned the logic of limiting the minutes of a player with Arnold's pedigree. The external noise was significant. The commentary wasn't limited to sports media. It echoed in the public sphere, amplified by social media, where Arnold's mother posted messages that were interpreted as expressions of frustration with the Hall of Fame mama's coach's choice. This added a personal, familial layer to what was already a significant basketball story. The prevailing argument against the decision was rooted in a belief that Arnold had earned her place. Her freshman production and high school accolades, critics argued, merited a starting role. To see her relegated to the bench seemed to contradict the fundamental principle of rewarding success. It was a move that, on its surface, appeared to be a punishment, creating a narrative of conflict between a rising star and a veteran coach. Any analysis of a decision at UConn must begin with an analysis of the decision-maker. Geno Auriemma is not just a coach, he is the architect of a basketball dynasty. His 40-year career is defined by sustained excellence, evidenced by an 88.2% career winning percentage, a figure that stands among the highest in the history of the sport at any level. His resume provides the context for his methods. With 12 national championships, Auriemma has built and rebuilt title-contending rosters for decades. His programs have secured 21 conference regular season titles and made 24 appearances in the Final Four. He is a Hall of Fame coach who has demonstrated repeatedly an ability to identify and develop elite talent. This history suggests that roster decisions are not made based on emotion or in a response to external pressure. Every move is part of a larger, long-term strategic plan aimed at a singular goal, competing for championships. Auriemma saw something in the situation that others did not. He identified an opportunity disguised as a controversy. For him, the decision to move KK Arnold to the bench wasn't about the first game of the season. It was about the final game of the tournament. Within elite basketball programs, the role of the sixth man is not a consolation prize. It's a specialization. For UConn, KK Arnold was repositioned to become what the article describes as the team's menace. Her importance to the Huskies did not diminish. It was simply redirected. Auriemma's calculation was that Arnold's specific skill set, her explosive energy and defensive intensity, could be more impactful when deployed strategically. Coming off the bench, Arnold was consistently matched up against opposing players who already had minutes on their legs. Her fresh energy became a tactical advantage against second-unit players or fatigued starters. This new role also fostered a potent partnership. Arnold and freshman guard Ashlynn Shade evolved into a dynamic duo off the bench, developing a high level of chemistry that provided a critical spark for the team. Auriemma wasn't just managing minutes on a roster, he was cultivating a specific weapon. The objective was to weaponize Arnold's intensity at the most opportune moments in a game. Instead of spreading her energy over a full 40 minutes as a starter, her impact was concentrated into high-leverage situations, designed to shift momentum and overwhelm opponents. Her role was different, but no less vital. On paper, KK Arnold's statistics from the 2024-25 season might appear modest for a player of her talent. She averaged 5.5 points, 2.8 assists, 2.4 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per contest. These numbers, viewed in isolation, could be used to support the argument that her sophomore season was a regression. However, this perspective fails to account for the strategic intent behind her deployment. Those statistics do not quantify the timing of her contributions or the energy she injected into the game. The value of her performance was not in raw accumulation, but in situational impact. Her energized effort off the bench was a key component for the Big East powerhouse, frequently igniting runs that helped propel the team forward. This was a contribution that proved instrumental in the Huskies' run to the NCAA tournament's Elite Eight. The numbers mask what the article calls a strategic masterclass in player development. The goal was not for Arnold to lead the team in scoring from the bench, but for her to change the complexion of the game when she entered. The success of the strategy is therefore not measured by her individual box score, but by the overall success of the team during her minutes on the floor. Geno Auriemma's management of KK Arnold during the season was described as surgical. His substitutions were not always predictable and often ran counter to conventional wisdom. There were moments when Arnold's defensive presence was unmatched on the floor, yet Auriemma would substitute her out. On occasion, she would remain on the bench for entire quarters. From the outside, these moves could be interpreted as disrespect or a lack of trust. However, within the framework of Auriemma's long-term plan, it was a calculated approach to roster management. Each substitution was designed to optimize the team's effectiveness against specific matchups, while simultaneously teaching Arnold a deeper lesson about the game. The counter-argument was clear. A player with her talent deserved to be on the floor. But Auriemma's strategy prioritized sustainable excellence over immediate gratification. By controlling her minutes so precisely, he was managing her energy, exposing her to different game situations, and demanding a high level of focus for every second she was on the court. It was a disciplined and at times difficult process, intended to refine her understanding of her role and its importance to the team's collective goal, regardless of playing time. The strategy to move KK Arnold to the bench was built on a foundation of three distinct simultaneous objectives. First, the move was designed to preserve her confidence while teaching a crucial lesson in patience. By making her a high-impact player in a specialized role, Auriemma kept her central to the team's success, affirming her value while tempering the expectations of a young star. Second, the decision maximized her effectiveness. Auriemma identified that Arnold's specific brand of high-energy defense and explosive offense was a potent weapon against opponents' second units and tired starters. Rather than being just another talented starter, she became a matchup nightmare coming off the bench, a role tailored to her unique strengths. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the entire season was structured to prepare Arnold for the expanded leadership role that was inevitably to come. By experiencing the game from a different perspective, by learning to accept a role for the benefit of the team, she was being groomed for her future. Auriemma wasn't coaching for one season, he was building a player and a leader for the next championship run. The 2024-25 season, once viewed as a potential setback, is now framed as an advanced education. For KK Arnold, the year spent as the sixth woman was, as the source material suggests, a graduate course in basketball IQ, situational awareness, and role acceptance. It was a curriculum that cannot be taught through starting assignments and accolades alone. Playing from the bench provided a different vantage point. It allowed her to study the flow of the game before entering it, to identify opponent tendencies, and to understand precisely what the team needed at the moment of her substitution. This experience fostered a deeper understanding of the tactical side of basketball, moving beyond raw talent into the realm of strategic execution. The psychological component was equally important. Accepting and then thriving in a role that others deemed a demotion requires a high level of maturity and team-first mentality. Arnold proved she possessed both. This season-long course in perspective was designed to forge a more resilient, more intelligent, and more complete basketball player. It was a lesson in humility and hunger, taught by one of the game's most demanding professors. As the 2025-26 season approaches, the full scope of Geno Auriemma's plan is becoming clear. KK Arnold, having proven her value in a relief role, is reportedly ready to return to the starting five. This was, according to the logic of the strategy, the intended outcome all along. The 2024-25 season was not a step backward, but a necessary formative detour. She's expected to reclaim a starting position not as the same player she was 2 years ago, but as an enhanced version. She'll bring the skill set of a natural starter, now combined with the hunger and perspective of a bench player who has had to earn every minute. This rare combination, the article argues, will make her exponentially more dangerous. The controversy since has faded, replaced by anticipation. The player who walked to the scorer's table as the sixth man is now prepared to lead from the opening tip, equipped with new wisdom and a refined understanding of her own capabilities. In the end, the narrative holds that Geno Auriemma did not demote KK Arnold. He forged her into the complete player he believes UConn needs to capture its next national championship.
Prime Field